Alrighty now, there I is. That's even the proper way of saying that, which is not very bad English, I know. Don't throw your grammar books at me. I have no idea what you're saying. But anyway, so it that's too bright. So it seems that we will be having a blood moon this Sunday into Monday. And I've had a few people actually say, hey, would you mind talking about that? Fine, fine, again. I think I've talked about it before the last time it happened, but it looks like I get to say it again today. Let me just click some things open real quick. Like this thing to make my face be more brighter without blinding me. Okay, that's so much better. So, let's see. Where to start? Well, first off, about where this blood moon lovey-dovey event is going to happen. It's going to happen. Please hold your pigeons real quick while I bring up this little astrology app so I can translate it. Okie dokie. So we will be having, get out of the way. Where? Nope. Right. Close, but not quite. A little more to the left. No. And actually, at least for the sign placement, it's going to be the exact same for both Western and sidereal or Vedic. And it's for, and I'm actually talking about the Lahari system of using Vedic and Western. Well, there's really one Western way. But primarily, this lovely event is going to be in the sign of Scorpio. So the blood moon will be in the placement of Scorpio. And if we're going to be getting a little bit deeper on the Vedic side, they would be having it be noted at the degrees of Anuradha Nakshatra. Meanwhile, for Western, we have it in the actually back one. Vedic might actually have it be. It seems pretty close to Vishaka. Might be Vishaka, possibly. But anyway, for Western, it is going to be completely point blank in Jeshta Nakshatra, which is pretty significant. Okay, so hello. Let me get this out of the way. Hello, Ray. So, how do we first decipher this? Well, if you want to be technical, the moon is going to be with K2. And usually, when moon is involved with K2, usually you have the mind being, well, being detached. You have the imagination being detached, emotions being detached. But because since this is a blood moon, a lot of Lilithian qualities are going to be coming to the forefront regarding this. And because since in the transit, Black Moon Lilith is in the sign of Cancer, that's going to be adding a bit of influence to this because essentially transiting Moon is in the sign where Black Moon Lilith has ownership in, and Black Moon Lilith is in the sign where Moon is. So they're doing in what's called Vedic astrology. I'm going to try and pronounce it. I'm probably going to butcher it. I'm going to try. Hello, Mystic. Essentially, you have Moon and Black Moon Lilith doing what's called a. I'm going to butcher it. I'm going to try a Privityana. I can't pronounce it. Yoga. In other words, both of them are essentially just changing signs. So both of them are actually acting as if in their own signs and they're comfortable. But with Moon and Black Moon Lilith, well, first and foremost, Black Moon Lilith is extremely, if not probably, the most close to Moon than all the planets. Because without the Moon, she doesn't exist. So being in the sign of Cancer, she's okay. I'm in like my mother's house, so of course I'm comfortable. But while Moon in Scorpio tends to kind of have a little bit of trouble, but then again, depending if it's a waxing full, waning, or no moon. But because this is a blood moon, a lot of Lilithian energy is going to be coming out of it. So, but since it's that exchange of a combination, you're having the moon actually acting as if she's in Cancer. So she feels like, okay, I can handle this despite it being dark and creepy and scary, and I don't know what's going to happen. But the Jeshta part, Jeshta. That's a good way of putting it. But with Moon and Jeshta, well, if you don't know about Jeshta, well, to start, to best explain it, Jeshta is essentially the nakshatra or lunar mansion, technically where Lilith kind of has somewhat ownership in. Meaning that's like the nakshatra where the dark goddess lies in. Because the opposite of Jeshta is Rohini, and it's also known as Avalakshmi. Like how there's Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, prosperity, and wealth. And then there's Avyakshmi, which is her older sister and is about usually is the dark tantra is some of the more stereotypical taboo and all the darker parts of life, if best put it. It's also occult, jealousy, vengeance, and is also the eldest sister. But now here's the thing though. Having a lot of Lothian energy be pretty much being fixed in that spot, you can easily say it's going to be going higher than if it was in a different sign. So, like, say if it was a blood moon in, let's say, Pisces, it'd be completely different than it is going to be in Scorpio and Jeshta. So, first and foremost, what can we use this blood moon for in terms of magical working? Well, since we have an extreme overflow of Lilithian energy, like it's going from a little bit times of about, best said, 50? 50 times in potency. So, any workings regarding the following self empowerment, um, removing any kind of restraints, detainments, or obstacles that are put upon you, even, let's see here, even deceptive workings, like if you're trying to put something out to kind of make people get disoriented around you, they can't think clearly around you, or if you're trying to seduce a lot of people. And now, when I say seduce, I don't mean being all like, no, not that kind. The kind of seduction that is actually how it's meant to be. Like being able to go into somebody's head and make them go, she said I'm okay, but she said it in a way that was like, oh, you're okay, hon, don't worry. But I don't get it. She said I'm okay, but she did not sound okay. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. That's seduction. Making somebody's mind and thought process get so unbalanced and just the slightest thing will make them just get set off. That's what really seduction is. So you can actually do a lot of I would have to say, I mean, if you want to do better work, you definitely can do that because love can most definitely do that. Like man intimidator, intimidation work, um, compelling somebody to do something that they promised. That's another one, and also workings that are kind of a bit vengeful. And by vengeful workings, I'm talking about like, say, if someone wronged you pretty bad, this is the perfect time to just be all, I think a nice tragic slip would do just splendid for this twat head. Oops. Looks like this little minor hex turned into a major one because this guy just slipped and he fell and broke his ankle. Oh well. And he can't find a doctor for a few months, and his insurance went out. Oh, that's a shame. Just an example. Yes. Black Moon Lilith co-rules the sign of Scorpio. Yeah, co-rules it alongside Pluto, K2, and Mars. So Scorpio has 4. But in Cancer, she's in a friendly sign to her. Actually, I would even say like intimate in terms of like planetary connections and relationships. Because without the moon, Black Moon Lilith wouldn't exist. Because you have to have the moon in order to calculate where she's at. So instead of her causing harm to the moon ever, she protects the moon at all costs. Whenever she's aspecting the moon, even if it's one of those harsh, mean squares, inconjuncts, or anything like that, Black Moon Lilith will not hurt the moon. Because to her, she'd be thinking, why am I going to hurt the thing that's keeping me here? If I hurt this thing, I go too. So I'm not going to swing at it. That's just using logical deductive reasoning. But when, like, say, Moon is with Black Moon Lilith, oh, yeah, Black Moon Lilith protects the moon, and I have that. I have that conjunction with the drunk Saturn behind my moon. So essentially, Black Moon Lilith is holding my drunk Saturn at gunpoint, tell, telling him, "You do anything wrong with the moon, you're getting shot, old man. Don't do it." Best way to put it. But anyway, so what other kind of workings we can do? We can also do a lot of workings regarding. I said vengeance. We can also do a lot of glamour working. We can even also do a lot of blood magic working. If you want to do that, you can most definitely do that. You can also do. Hmm, if you want to get a lot more closer to doing magical workings that are related to Tantra, this is another good one because Jasha has actually that dominion of it over it. Let's see what else is there. It's also a good time, even also to get really aligned pieces of jewelry that are Lilithian. Like, for example, if you get crystals or gemstones or a certain piece that is, let me just get out of my little sack of rocks. Grab a few examples. Not that one. That one's too. That one's too nice. It is what it is. Okay. There's one. Okay. I guess that one will do. I'm gonna give you a few examples of some stones that you could possibly, hopefully, maybe get your hands on before the blood moon comes in. But these are just ideas. If you just have clear quartz, that's good enough. Oh no, not that one. Oh yes, 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 Mystic. Yes, absolutely. If I could keep saying yes, I would keep saying yes. But I think one big yes is good enough. Because believe it or not, Lilith and Kali are actually very friendly to each other. Believe it or not. Because Lilith sees Kali as that a girl, yeah, rip his head off. Because Kali, being the goddess of destruction and also at the same time rebirth, she does not put up and does not be is not bound by nothing. She just eradicates whatever gets in her way. She just eradicates it. And Lilith takes a lot of, what's that word I'm looking for? I guess admiration, if that's the right word. She appreciates and admires Kali's complete defiance of allowing anything to like stop her or keep her at bay, because she just goes as she deems fit. Which in the mythology, the only way that she stopped was when she saw that she was stepping on Shiva. So Lilith does find a lot of admirability, if that's a word, towards Kali. And I can reason with that, just to actually say that does somewhat make sense, just for that reason. But I would say, yes, that'd be a good idea. Stone wise, for like the pieces of jewelry or stones that I suggest you get in terms for the blood moon, well, first and foremost, obviously, the black moonstone. I'll brighten this up a little bit so you can see. Okay, there we go. The black moonstone. And actually, on this piece, it actually has her Black Moon Love symbol on it. I just gotta find it. So somebody cue the Jeopardy music and make sure I don't get a copyright strike when I look for it. Do 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 copyright. No do do do. is it? I know you're in here somewhere. I don't know where you are, but I will find you. Ah, there it is. Hopefully, hopefully you'll be able to see it, but like, it's right in between my fingers. I hope you were able to see it, like right between my fingers, that little shimmer right there. There's the black moon, Lilith, planetary symbol sigil thing with the moon, crescent moon, and it has the cross below it, and it's black. Yep, that's it. But instead of it being black, it's kind of a shimmer effect. Anyway, black moon Lilith. Black moon Lilith. Black moonstone. Gosh, tongue twister. And my tongue tied up. Yep, and when I do my readings for astrology, I actually use both Vedic and Western, and I smack them. Well, I don't smack them. I put them together at once. I use them both at the same time. And with and in terms of spirituality, like working with like the spirits and the divines and all that, I could technically kind of acknowledge all of them, and I'm open to any of them that come towards me. So if it's like I acknowledge you all of you, even the ones I don't even know, as long as you don't cause any harm to me, I'm open. But if you swing at me, oops, please don't. I don't have time for that. But anyway, other stones. Rhodochrosite. But rhodochrosite's kind of a more of a playful, flirty, cutesy one. But with Lilith, she likes stones that are exotic, like stones that kind of when you see them, they make your head go, "Wait a minute, what's that?" Like they make your head turn. And also at the same time, stones that are not really that common, because if you were to like say, like if you were to give her like a piece of rose quartz, but if you had like another piece of like say thuolite that was in a heart shape too, if you were to give her a rose quartz and she was aware that you had like a thuolite heartstone, she would be a bit more like, okay, fine, I guess I'll take this basic bitch stone. I would really appreciate if it was something more like a thuolite heart, but no, 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 hon, just give me the basic bitch stone. No, no, no. Black Moon Love in a second. What sign is it in? Another stone is Stitchenshite. Now, Stitchenshite is a more of a, like a guiding teaching stone, but again, because it's a unique. Oh, then you would have Lilith at Mixera then. A Lilith Mixera. That's essentially you pretty much have this. Let's see if I can put it all together in my head real quick. Essentially, with Black Moon Lilith, naturally, what she represents is essentially where your empowerment lies in. It's also where you use the ability to seduce, allure, captivate, and control, and kind of have people do your bidding without them knowing it. It's also how you get revenge, believe it or not. And it can also show a potential incident of trauma that happened, potentially. So, smacking it all together. Oh, and by the way, Black Moon Lilith, if she is being aspected by any planet besides the moon, she doesn't play by the rules. Just to keep that in mind. Like say if she has Saturn looking at her, hey, you, hoochie lady, huh? Oh, it's just that old man. Now I'm not gonna listen to him. Hey, I'm looking at you. I keep hearing this crying guy. I can't see him. Over here, woman. Yeah. Oh well. So she doesn't really get affected by any kind of planet that's like aspecting her, and if it's not with her, next to her, or in the same house or conjunct her, she just is. But a moon gets involved, she pays attention. But in Taurus, she's in a friendly sign of Venus, and in just overall with Taurus, One finds empowerment and one feels the most empowered when they're able to actually use their ability to. Well, then again, at the core with Lilith, she is the unknown. You have no idea what she's going to do. You have absolutely no idea what she's going to do. She does, again, what she pleases. So it's always random with her. You never know what she's going to do. But in Taurus, friendly sign, one's empowerment comes through one's sense of acknowledging and experiencing the senses, meaning touch, sight, taste, smell, hear, and if you want to be technical, the sixth sense with intuition. But also, it being Taurus, value, one's sense of value has to come from their empowered state. Meaning, one can one with this placement can actually find the value and being able to really understand that my empowerment, it's part of my enjoyment. If I'm not empowered, I'm not enjoying, and if I'm not enjoying, everything's in deep crap until I get it. And one sense of like how one pretty much, well, that's also the second house too. That's the face here and yep and all that. So if it's a woman with this placement, you can actually see her potentially wearing more darker colors on the skin, meaning like eyeshadows that are dark, like a midnight blue, black, black violet, black red, and also wearing lipstick the same color. And may even also be fond of actually even having like maybe some small tattoos tattooed on the face, potentially though. And also, since Taurus and the second house represents the tone of the voice, not the words that come out, that's the third. You can actually see someone being known for having a voice that is very captivating. Like the way that they speak and the sounding, like how it sounds, it can actually make people's heads just go, "Who just said that? I'm mesmerized by it. That's just what that sounded like. Where did that voice come from? Now I'm infatuated." And since, oh, I like it when words like that come out, velvety, because that, and also because since if you want to be well, that's more third house though, but still, because Taurus can represent like the imagine. I'm all good. I'm good, Laura. Hopefully you're well also. You actually being like a voice. What's that called? Ah, what's that called? A voice actor, or like being a narrator, or even heck, voicing characters. That's another good thing to even consider too. But with Black Moon Lilith and Taurus still, one actually uses the senses to seduce other people, or pretty much how one uses their senses to also kind of captivate other people. So you can definitely see somebody also being pretty proficient in the skills of taking something like certain essential oils to make a certain fragrance to completely woozy woo or make someone be all, oh, this is it. I'll do anything for you, but please just come over here. Like completely infatuate them to the point where they just get so mesmerized and they can't break free of it. And also one may also even get, now this is where it can get a little bit dark, but still. With a Black Moon Lilith and Taurus, one potentially can get revenge and do acts of vengeance by by literally having the person who harmed them having their fixed assets or anything of value to them be taken from them. And essentially, like say if somebody harmed you in a way, one of the ways that you can get revenge, like for an example, say if you were married to some abusive twat and you had a lot of money, well, after revenge, divorce, and you take a percentage of like all of his assets put together. That's a Black Moon Lilith and Taurus. She gets revenge by taking something or things that please the senses, which is wealth, money, luxury, conveniency, security. and as well anything that brings a lot of, that's a weird word, brings a lot of glamour to the life. And actually, well, up again. I mean, that's the thing. Wherever you get harmed, wherever Black Moon Lilith's placed, sometimes if she choose and if she's actually working with you, naturally, just by herself, she'll just clear out the inventory and be like, "Oops, oh, I like that, Laura. That's a good one." Because here's the thing: when you have Black Moon Lilith in the 10th house, essentially the 10th house is this. Well, the thing with Lilith, though, because just how she is naturally, because when I read with Black Moon Lilith, I just see it as like, okay, that's Lilith herself. How is she going to respond in this situation, in this placement? She doesn't really feel envious because she thinks, why am I going to be jealous of you? I don't need any of you. I just need myself and whatever I want. I don't need nothing from you. Oh, you fancy, huh? Oh, ooh, look at you and your big fancy Tesla car. Oh, I'm so impressed. Oh, yuck, boring. Oh, look, I'll just get one of my own and just go up and take it. That's just how she works. She wants it, she just goes up and gets it and doesn't care. But Black Moon Lilith in the 10th house. But the 10th house is essentially, yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Black Moon Lilith in the 10th, well, the 10th house is essentially the highest point in the sky where everything can see you. And with the sun in Gemini. So, firstly, number one, that's potentially one of the houses that most likely Lilith herself may actually be most likely to work alongside of you. One of the houses. And those are 1, 4, 8th, 10th, and 12th. Those are the houses that I've seen that tend to have a lot of the most consistency of Lilith going towards those people. But again, at the core, she does as she pleases and she just chooses. But then again, what I've seen, and it could always be varied, but in the 10th house, and the sun's there. So this is where the conjunction part comes in. Well, the sun in the 10th house has Digbala, directional strength. So the king knows exactly what he needs to do for the homeland. He looks down at it because that's the 4th house. But now we have Black Moon Lilith with the king, the sun. So now you're taking the king and now you're putting him with the most freely independent woman, the one that does as she pleases, and the one who expects the best. Black Moon Lilith, when conjunct a planet like Sun, an authority, the king. I'll get to you next, M, after I analyze this one. Black Moon Lilith with the Sun. Oh boy. Essentially, you have Lilith sitting with the king. The king is going to try and overpower her by flaming her, like being all like, hey, check me out. Oh, aren't you just the hot flaming one? Oh, yes, my king. Oh, sure, whatever you say. No, 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 no. You're not going to make me do anything. I'm the king. You can't tell me no. Oh, what was that? You want me to just, trip you and land on your tush? Okay. Well, either way, 10 or 11. Well, if she's with the sun, essentially what she does for the sun as one of the planets, but she does this with mainly almost all of them except Moon, Venus, and Saturn. But if Venus and Saturn are going to harm the moon, then she does this. Essentially, Black Moon Lilith pretty much completely binds the planet she's with and tells it, if you're going to want to have your significance be of any value, I have to have my empowerment first. Then I'll let you have what you want. In other words, in order for you to be feeling fulfilled, you have to be in your empowered state and you have to be acknowledged that Oh my lord, do you see her? Wow, she is powerful. Then that makes you fulfilled. But if you're not being seen as a figure that is, don't mess with her, do not mess with her, because if you mess with her, it's not going to be good. Like if you're not being respected, you may not feel the most fulfilled. So, and also since with Gemini, because Gemini is also the sign where it's actually a man pointing to a woman and they're pointing right directly at the center of each other. So it's connection. But because Gemini is also a very playful, youthful, fun sign, the way that you get your empowerment is you're able to be able to connect to another and pretty much merge together as one to exchange ideas, thoughts, or communicate. So your empowerment comes by essentially having connections and being able to connect one on one and exchange ideas, but also like spread and give out information. But because Gemini is also a bit of a flirty, playful sign, it can be a little bit flirtatious, which is not a bad thing. And Lilith is used to that because of, well, woozy wooing, people to do as she wants them to do. But with the sun, again, in order for that feeling of fulfillment and that sense of like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, you have to be empowered. Hmm. Good. And again, and if, if working with her brings you a feeling of like if you're being fulfilled by it, then that's again, Black Moon Lilith is being activated because she's working alongside of you and your sun gets activated at the same time. So yes, it's actually a really good one. That's actually a good combination. And let me see here. Where'd we go? Lilith and Scorpio in the second house. Okay, here we go. So Lilith owns the sign of Scorpio, so you're putting her in her own domain, like, oh, this dark place where there's a lot of tantra going on. Oh, somebody got assassinated. It happens. Whatever. Oh, some guy just got beheaded. No, it happens. Oh, I almost got hit by that piano that fell out of the sky. Because the sign of Scorpio does have the eighth house energy of like sudden events. And is also the house that has dominion over the law of probability, believe it or not. Which there's a certain probability percentage chance of anything happening. That's what the law is. But now in the second house, but Scorpio, essentially the way that if you wear any kind of makeup or wear any kind of jewelry or any form of that whatsoever, you may potentially like to have either your appearance come off in a way that's a bit, let's just say, more on the darker side, but it's also in a way that actually like when somebody sees it, they go, "Oh," like it just shatters their whole core and makes them think. Like, say for example, if you encounter somebody who's like a really conservative, like stereotypical, like say, I don't, I'm gonna this sounds so bad, but who cares? Like, say if you were to like approach somebody who's in like they dress like going to like a private school, and you walk past them, or if they see you, potentially you may actually indirectly cause that person's way of self-expression and how they dress to be completely shattered, and then they think that look actually looks pretty good. I think I'm actually going to try it on just by existing, because Scorpio goes overkill and transforms something into something else. Black Moon Lilith is the seduction, and in the second house, that's where you're essentially how you experience the senses, and pretty much wearing clothing, jewelry, and any of that, you're with the senses, you're expressing yourself through the senses. The voice, let's just say, if if you have to pretty much woozy woo somebody, you know how to actually just be like, I know exactly the tone of voice to exactly hit right in the right spot to completely shatter you. In other words, You can just woozy woo someone like that. And all that's needed is the change of the voice. Just the change of the voice. From just being nice, calm, cool, collected to firm. Come on, let's go. Like that. Because that's the second house, the tone of the voice. But again, with a vengeance though. Now that it's Scorpio instead of Taurus, now this is where it takes a big flip. When you need to get revenge, best vengeance comes from doing means of occult, tragedy, or having sudden things happen to those who cause harm to your security, your finances, and your fixed assets. And what you target is essentially their sustainable in like their sustenance of like financials and whatnot. And if they have a fixed asset, you actually may get the most success by doing like be a real shame if like if something bad happened to that house of theirs, like if it just went and got hit by like a tornado. Oh, they didn't have renters insurance, they didn't have homeowners insurance. Oh, what a shame. And they lost all their stuff. Oh well, it happens. Oh well, it happens. So that's your best way of getting revenge, because Scorpio is also the occult and sudden events. And if there's any kind of potential hardship that happens in your life at all that is like a bit too much surrounding your family, or even if you have like a certain, like if you have a birth, like a mark on your face that's kind of damaging your sense of self-esteem. If you were to take something like here, if we were to take a black stone, like here, let me grab one, not you. There's one stone. Hold that thought. Get over here. Where the bloody heck are you? Not you. Gotcha. Okay, there's one. Okay, I got one. Where's the other one? Yeah, that one's too gentle. There we go. That'll work. If you were to take the stones, I'm grabbing one more because variety is the spice of life. At least that's what I'm told. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Good and plenty. So, if you were to take the stones, or if you were to take black tourmaline, bloodstone, garnet, but this is a star garnet, it still has the same properties, or black moonstone, essentially what you do is wherever that mark is on your face and you just feel like it's hindering your sense of self, you take one of these stones, then you massage it around a total of 6 times. And then you do it again, but now in the reverse direction for a total of 12. And when you do that, it's going to start attending to that mark. Before long, your nose it'll start going away. And that's actually combining using certain crystals and gemstones to support a certain planetary placement. Hello, Michael. Pluto in the eighth and oh, oh Pluto. I like to call Pluto the little shithead. Literally, the little shithead, because it's like whenever a planet is conjunct Pluto, they're like, oh, I have to deal with the runt. Why do I have to deal with this runt? Because my Venus is conjunct Pluto with my Western chart, so it's just like, oh, why do I have to put up with him? Why? Hey, Venus. Hey, I bet you I could be a hot babe like you. No, no, Pluto, please don't. No, don't do. What are you doing? What's that on your face, kid? Oh, it's your makeup. Please tell me you saved some. Nope, I put it all on my face. Can you please take off my bra? And could you please get out of my heels? Why? I look like a hottie like you. Why do I have to put up with him? Okay, so I'll analyze that one in a second. So my Venus well, any planet with Pluto, essentially their significance gets like overkilled, and they get so annoyed because they had to put up with the runt. Like, oh God, why? So now Lilith in the 11th house. Well, essentially empowerment will be coming from. Is it still in Gemini or is it now in Cancer? Because that might make a difference. But 11th house, one's empowerment comes from essentially wishes, their your own wishes being fulfilled. If you're not getting what you're striving for, you're not going to be empowered, essentially. But your empowerment, once you get what you a Gemini, okay, good. So essentially, you have to be able to connect to other people from different backgrounds. You feel the most empowered, essentially exchanging ideas and just speaking to many people all across the world. Networking, like social media or anything along those lines, essentially, when you are able to connect to somebody and have that exchange of conversation, it brings you empowerment. It makes you feel like, okay, I know my stuff. But how do you get revenge? Oh boy. If you want to have the one of the most hello Jabrail. If you want to know one of the most um essentially most damaging reputation combinations to have, it's that one that you have, Laura. Essentially, you can get revenge by going on to like say social media or something and doing something anonymously and being all like, "Oh, oops. Oh, look at this leak about this twat head who was doing this all along. He was supposed to be like the big CEO and leading by example, but look at this stupid BS he did. Uh-oh." And then he gets fired, as an example. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if he crosses you, oops. Actually, I think I have a good example. What sign's in your fourth house? Wait. So Aries ascendant. That means Cancer, right? Yeah. So you that would be Cancer would be your fourth house. So when you're putting her symbol on your chest in Cancer, the fourth house gets activated. So having Lilith's um how do I put this? Having Lilith's significance be activated like in the house of Mother, that gets activated. Like, well, you have a bully trying to take your wallet. Well, uh-oh. Mother's instinct comes in and goes, nope. But to best explore, but to give a general idea on like how this whoops, give me a second. Okay, wait, why is this thing not pausing? Hold on, I gotta get this bloody thing to do what it's supposed to do. There we go, got it. So essentially, to, this is essentially what. Yep, and yeah, well, the thing is, you have to put yourself first. You always have to put yourself first because if you're not good, nothing else matters. If you're not standing on your own 2 feet, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. If you're gone, the world is done from your perspective. That's the biggest number one thing with anything and anyone. But to kind of give you an example of like how Black Moon, Lilith, in Gemini in the 11th would be something like this. Let's see if you can see that. You can't see the wording that well because you know the glare, but it says exposing and bigoted words. But the thing is, the way that this is going to play out is like, oh, it'd be a shame if this just got dropped and everybody sees it. But here, whoops. Okay, here we go. This is essentially Black Moon Lilith in the 11th house in Gemini. Play, you dimwit. The heck you doing?
I'll make a killing off of this. I have no regrets, but I bet somebody does.
Here. It's not Lupin, but here.
I'll make a killing off of this. I have no regrets, but I bet somebody does. I'll make a killing off of this. I have no regrets, but I bet somebody does. I'll make a killing off of this. I have no regrets, but I bet somebody does. I'll make a killing off of this.
Yeah. That is essentially Black Moon Lilith in Gemini in the 11th. Oh. Uh-oh. Oops. Oh, well, he's been exposed. Oh, well. Twatted. That's the best way to explain it. Revengeance comes by taking somebody's whoopsies or slandering somebody's name and just, oops, tragic slip. Now they're fired and laughed at. That's vengeance. It was pretty good. Good vengeance. But again, and also that's also how you seduce people. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using seduction and using blackmail to seduce someone. Like, it'd be a real shame if this got found out about you. Oh, okay, good choice. And especially in today's world, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But that's your potential. That's your potential, Laura. But don't ever be timid to be not playing by the rules sometimes if you have to do it in order to keep yourself good. There's nothing wrong with it. Because if somebody is abusing or, taking advantage of you or bringing harm to you unjustly and uncalled for, well, be ashamed if like, oh, you're not the only one that can swing below the belt. Oops, pop the cherries below. Oh, it's okay. You didn't need them anyway. Well, for me, at least in my opinion, when I hear people say like, I can't even, I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth just thinking about it. Whenever they interact or speak of Lilith and you're like I can't even say the word. The WHOR, I can't even say the last letter, but you get the idea. Or something like that. Or being over, vulgarity like that. I think that that's no, don't. Just because just because that's part of her, that's not her core thing. It's empowerment of the self first. Because if you have empowerment with the self, I'm doing this because I want to, and I'm gonna do it. But when you have it be that first instead of the other way around, you're now having her have to be like, I need someone else in order to be empowered. Which no, that's backwards. She wants to do something because she wants to. That's it. And she doesn't need this. She can probably go somewhere else to get something just as or equal or better elsewhere. She doesn't need anything. She just needs herself. And if she wants to go for something, she'll go for it. But she doesn't need it. But don't tell her no. Because you're most likely have her go, huh? No? I'll ask again. Let me ask one more time. Give it. Still no? Wow. I thought you were dead, Adam. Oh well, I get to do it. I get to knock you out again. Oh shh. What sign was it in? What sign was that in? 12th house below but the sun. But again, you have to remember, Black Moon Lilith is also having the energy of being a trauma survivor, or any kind of, if any harm was done to you, Lilith does not like it when somebody abuses another individual, especially if it's towards a woman or girlfriend, wife, fiance, or the such. She does not take kindly to that. The minute that happens, she just goes, "Oh, you're gonna wish that you weren't even moving to begin with, hon. Don't go to sleep tonight. You're gonna wish you didn't. Keep those eyes open. Keep them open." Oh, I bet you. Well, I bet you he got exposed real fast. Like, oh, hey everybody, look at this one. Looks like he's trying to open all the locks of the world. Oh, but look at that. Nope. Good. And hopefully that guy got an anvil drop on his head. Mm. It always makes me think, at least in my living opinion, you know, whatever happened to like self control? I mean, yeah, I mean, if you see someone else that's appealing to you, you still can make the choice to be like, well, I am kind of with this other person. I'm not gonna break that or risk any harm coming to that. Unseen, as in like, well, well, in the 12th house. I mean, that is the house of doing the nasty, technically. And since the sun's there, well, hey, everybody, look at this. Oh well, the thing is that the sun's there, and what happens when the sun's in something? Hey, check this place out. Well, it gets exposed. Then Black Moon Lilith there. Oh, if he makes the wrong move like that, especially when doing that, Lilith most definitely comes in like, oh, we got someone thinking it's cute to open other doors that don't need to be opened. Oh, look at that! I got him by this. I got him by the sausage link. Oh, be ashamed if something bad happened. Oops. Oh well. That's what happens when you try to unlock a door that needs to remain closed, dude. Oops. Oh well, he didn't mean it anyway. Lilith conjunct Lilith. It'll depend on like how the moon is, because moon also influences how Lilith behaves too, in a way. And because this is synastry, I have to see more than just the chart to get it accurate. But when you have somebody's when you have somebody's Black Moon Lilith join the identical Black Moon Lilith, they actually are able to. Well, and the Black Moon Liliths are both in Taurus, right? So your Lilith is actually much more powerful than his, if you want to be technical. Because by 1 degree, that's the difference? Which one's the lower degree? Okay. So yours has the lower degree. So essentially, when it comes to that, um, what's his ascendant? Oh, the same degree, Lilith. Okay. What's his ascendant then? Because that's going to make a big difference. Oh, a Scorpio ascendant. Okay, and oh, oh boy. Well, essentially, yes. I can definitely say that he will have a lot of attraction towards you. Like, you can easily infatuate him. If you know how to use seduction effectively, you can instantly get his attention. So much to the point he might get a little fixated. Because your Lilith is below his, Oh shoot. Well, um, Venus. Oh boy, he must be naturally very attractive then. Having Venus and looking at Lilith in Taurus, that Venus is actually looking at his Lilith, and they're friendly to each other. And since they're again the I can't pronounce it the yoga happens where Venus and Lilith are exchanging signs, so they're acting like they're in their own natural sign anyway. So pretty much, Lilith is acting like she's in Scorpio, even though she's kind of a little agitated being in the seventh, because now Lilith in the seventh now has to go like, I have to have my empowerment through somebody else. Why? That doesn't make sense to me. I just need myself. I have to have someone. I have to negotiate my empowerment. You must be kidding me. Whatever, fine. But the thing is, with Lilith in the seventh, if they get wronged, they can literally, like, say for an example, if they were with somebody who cheated on them or did something to like break up a connection they had, they will literally get revenge by manipulating people to turn against that person who harmed them. So much to the extent, like, they were literally set up a love triangle to just completely ruin the person that harmed them. They would just set it up just to watch it go down. It's an extremely dangerous house to have Lilith in if you make her mad. That's what she'll do. She'll triangulate people together or have a mosh pit of people betray like that. But now here's the thing that I like to say about Scorpio though, and with obsession. What's another word for obsession? What's another word for obsession that's not stereotypically seen as negative? What's another word for obsession? Devoted, committed, vowed, fixated, and even though this is kind of a phrase, and immovable. So most definitely, well, at the same time, you can say that he might actually bring in partners. Well, again, because Scorpio can go one of two ways. It can be overkill with positivity, like with a devotion, or overkill with like over obsessive girlfriend. What are you doing? It's been 2 seconds. Why haven't you responded to my text? You better be on that shitter, otherwise I'm saying you're cheating. Yeah, that. It could be that extreme. It's either one overkill or the other kind of overkill. Because that's just what Scorpio is. But when you have whoops. But when you have it in the seventh house where it's placed, and also Venus is protecting it too at the same time, since it's in Taurus. Essentially, at the same time, whomever his lover is, or whomever he's with that he's connected with romantically, not only will it bring him a sense of feeling more beautiful and being able to be more creatively expressive, he'll also feel empowered being with somebody who actually enhances his sense of being able to be his best and put his best foot forward. If that makes sense. There you go. That's it. That's it. And that's another thing too with Lilith. She can make anybody feel like, yeah, as and that's a little thing quality like, oh, I make you feel like a king, huh? Well, okay then, king. Shower me in wealth then. Let me see what you got then, hon. I mean, heck, you're the one flaunting with the big robe and fancy woozy woo and sparkly things on your head. Show me, king. Show me the walk. Better yet, give me a crown of silver and the most expensive jewels you can find, especially tanzanite. No tanzanite? Fine. I guess I'll take. Let's see here. I guess I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Give me some black sapphire instead. It's either tanzanite or black star sapphire. Take your pick, hon. Go get it. If I'm making you like a king, you should be able to get it like that. Oh yeah, that's well because black roulette is like in Taurus is like, oh, I'm not gonna. Why do I have to give up any of my resources for this? My resources. I'm not because empowerment is through the resources. Black roulette in Taurus in seventh. Well, because Lilith, your Lilith is at a lower degree by a little bit, so your Lilith may actually be more stronger than his. Like it'll respond first and faster. But again, since Black Moon Lilith is primarily a feminine planet, it does tend to favor the feminine side and feminine energy much more than just the masculine. And even as one of them rainbow ones myself, with Black Moon Lilith, if you are male and if you really don't know how to really best work with that energy, if you make the wrongest step, you get a big tragedy hit you in the head. Like, oh shit, I better not do that again. Yeah, yeah, most men don't. But here's the thing. One of the biggest things, and I've seen this way too many times in my life to count. Whenever a man, whenever he gets turned down and then he starts insulting a woman by saying, "Oh, you're just a whore." Mine's conjunct my ascendant too, but mine's in Aquarius with my drunk Saturn and Moon, and my Moon's point blank conjunct on my ascendant degree. So it's like, Saturn, be a doll, would you, old man? Don't hurt the Moon, please. Otherwise, you're gonna really need to go in for surgery to fix that hip of yours. Yeah, yeah. A black moon, Lilith in Aquarius in the first house. Let me explain that one. One's empowerment comes by completely defying and being extra rebellious against anything that gets put onto them. And it's true. I am completely defiant and like, you have to be like this. No. Huh? Oh no, 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 no. I'm gonna do what I want. But specifically when with the drunk Saturn, yes, and it's also one of the karmic signs. The other one's Scorpio. Not saying karmic is a bad thing, but it's just the defining. But when you have a combination where it's like, well, with a drunk Saturn altogether, you have one planet, then you have the drunk Saturn, then you have another planet. You have Saturn coming behind whatever planet he's conjunct and pretty much love tapping it, being like, "Oh, you call that crying moon? Come on, okay, I'll be more imaginative. Come on, God, woman, use your feelings, put your feels into it. There you go." So essentially, the moon gets like unbound. So the moon's qualities go, okay, I'm like overly sensitive and I take in things a lot more than I should. Okay, I guess I can do this. But now the thing is, with Black Moon Lilith behind Saturn, her qualities go into the moon, and moon takes her qualities without any limitations. And since it's the first house, somebody is actually able to become essentially like the best put it, they can essentially become like a invoker of the planet. That's in the ascendant. So in this case, it being Black Moon Lilith, pretty much one could say that they can essentially take in the energy, Lilith's energy herself, and actually embody it to an extent. That's funny. I'm the Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising, Aquarius Drunk Saturn, Aquarius Lilith. I have to say, I'm sad it's over. I don't want it to be over. It's been the best period of my life. It's been my favorite. It's been my best one. I'm not even kidding. I want this old man to stay in this sign forever. I don't want it to end. And what's even more funny, it's exactly how I said it was going to be. Right before he stepped into it. Right before he stepped into Aquarius, I'm like when he was still in Capricorn, like when he first stepped into Capricorn and when I began learning astrology, immediately when I saw him, like, already know when he steps into Aquarius, I'm gonna have like a surprise coming home party for the old geezer when he comes in. And even heck, I even got like these blue silver banded blue sapphire rings as like a welcome home, Grandpa. Shut up, kid. Okay. But not really. But essentially I had um like so many good things happen. I had my YouTube channel start, and at the same time, because I'm also going through my Satsati, which is the phase where the Saturn is in the sign before the moon, in the same house as the moon, and the sign after the moon. I'm in the middle of it, of the second phase ending into the third. So yeah, I probably just got through like supposed to be the most heaviest time. Well, with my Satsati altogether, included with the return, I met my mentor. I met my mentor. I began learning astrology. My mentor did pass away a year later in 2019 when I met him in 2017 at the end of the year. I also lost contact with my significant other when Satsati first began, but reunited. But it gets better when I get back to that. I also had my heel of my left foot just get shattered and I was crippled, but I got workers' comp for that. Yeah, I was completely helpless for about a few months after the surgery and actually getting it rehabilitated. But yeah, workers' comp is contained, no problem there. And I also um, was able to go see my significant other after reunited in 2018. Saw him again in 2020. But last year, like right before, and also starting the YouTube channel and how it took off because of Lilith. Yep, I also wrote my books. I got my 4 astrology certifications. Yep, but wait, the moment when Saturn stepped his walker right into Aquarius, the minute it touched it right on top of my head, immediately I remember this. Saturn stepping right on my ascendant, right on my moon, and pretty close enough to my own drunk Saturn. Immediately, once he stepped on that day, my most longed for wish granted. Immediately that day, and I called it. Just like, oh, wow, this place doesn't look like shit. Like how all these other people do it. Here, kid. Are you serious? Yeah, take it. Otherwise, I'll take it back. Okay. And essentially, what that wish was a reinstatement of vows. Mm-hmm. A reinstatement of vows, pretty much. That was the wish. Delivered. But again, the past 12 years, it has been hard. Like, so much. And some things that a normal person would go, that makes no sense. You should never have even stayed. You should have been long gone years before that happened. But I've kept through. Even on some things that easily could have had somebody leave somebody else. Nope, not moving. Nope. Mm-mm. Oh, you hit like a bitch. Nope, not moving. Get out of here. I'm not moving. Nope. Oh, are you deaf? Go. I'm not moving. Pretty much. Literally just holding on and going through a lot. And essentially, the reinstatement of the vows came in that same day when Saturn stepped into Aquarius on top of my head. Ascendant, moon, pretty much the retrograde degree. Wish was given. Like I said it would. And the only thing that I can say is if you want to, then just do it. Just do it. If you want something, then just go for it and do it. I mean, what bad can go wrong? If it's a want, you get it then. There we go. Love it. Much better. Because if you want something, just grab it. Oh, you can't get it? Oh, no, 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 no. Let's try that again. You can get it. Yes, there we go. Much better. Yes, yes. Sometimes she just comes on in and says, "I here, I got this." Oops. Oh well, it was disposable. That wasn't sound so bad if I wrote that. Oh, I'm just who I am, and I'm pretty much only on here to keep my Actually, here, Mystic. I think you will deserve this because I usually give this to people who are consistent when they come online. I'm gonna give you that now, and also having a lot of really good engagement too. So have at it, flaunt it. Be like, don't mess with me because I'll wrench you. Because you know the what's that called? The indicator has like a wrench, something like that. A blue wrench. Yeah, that thing. Feel free to lay down the wrench, lay down the wrench on some people, or like fix. Yeah, just fix their nuts. Just turn it a little to the right. I got nothing. That's all. That's all I got. What? Okay. So can I. But I have to get going because I have my other day job in the morning, and I gotta get my, I guess, beauty sleep. I guess let's put it. So I will talk to you all the next time, and I'll be coming in on tomorrow morning. I mean tomorrow afternoon ish, almost evening, and we'll see what that topic will be. But see you then.